All right, all right. Welcome, welcome, everyone. This is your girl, Zarina Garcia. And today we're going to go over how to do a Credit Karma analysis. So, when you're speaking to someone, the goal is to be able to guide them and educate an individual in the right direction. See, what we don't know is what we just don't know, right? And a lot of people have free accounts with Credit Karma, Experian, credit wise, so many different platforms for an individual to know what their credit scores are, right? So today we're going to go over how to look at your Credit Karma account if someone actually has a Credit Karma account, okay? So right now I'm actually fixing my lighting, making sure you guys see me okay. All right, I think that's a little better. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and share my screen with you guys and we're going to get right to it. Boom, boom. All right, so we're going to go to Credit Karma. And we're going to no username. Actually, let me stop sharing my screen and log in to this account first. All right. So the goal here is to make sure that everybody has the confidence, the posture to be able to give people the right information and for you to be able to also guide them in the right direction in the aspect of looking at their profile and fully understanding what services you can offer the individual. So I'm going to go ahead and log in really quickly. All right. Never go back to the Zoom. Full screen. All right. Excellent. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen again. Okay. So this is a real account, ladies and gentlemen. So as we see, we have TransUnion and Equifax. Credit Karma only gives you two credit bureaus. Keep in mind that when you're looking at the Credit Karma, they're scoring you using Vantage Score 3.0. Okay, very important that you know that. Now, most lenders are using FICO scoring. Okay, there's a FICO Way, there's also a FICO 9, and that's why, like myself, the Experian account, because they are scoring your credit score through Experian with the FICO score. However, with tonight's Zoom, we're going to go ahead and look at the Credit Karma, which is what 8 out of 10 people use. So as we see right here, this individual's credit score with his TransUnion is a 505 and Equifax is a 518. It obviously tells you it needs work, okay? So as you go to scroll down, of course, it's just going to kind of give you different things, whatever they're always trying to sell. So you always let a person know, okay, so let's go ahead and look at your TransUnion file. So you're going to click on the score, whether you're on the mobile device or on a laptop like we are today. And now it's going to show you what is being scored on the TransUnion, okay? So let's scroll down and it tells the individual that they have collections, okay? Now we're also looking at the different factors, excuse me, on how this score is being calculated, okay? So as we see here, we have different factors. You have payment history, credit card use, we have derogatory marks, we have credit age, we have total accounts, and we also have hard inquiries, okay? Now, as we know, your score is being calculated by 5 different factors. As you see here, you have 6. So let's go over this really quickly, and then we're going to go into if you're looking at this person's, file, what stands out to you, okay? but let's go over first the 5 factors. The first factor is payment history. That's 35% of how your score is being calculated. The second factor is credit card utilization. That's 30% of how your score is being calculated. The next factor is 15%, which is if I'm not mistaken, the types of accounts that you have. Then 10% of how your score is being calculated is the inquiries. And the last but not least is how many accounts do you have, the length of time that you've had it, and that's 10% as well, which total out to 100% of how your score is calculated. So we're going to be interactive on this Zoom here. So looking at this person's file with TransUnion, right, what do you see here that stands out for you? Anybody can unmute themselves.
He has no trade lines.
And what does that mean for an individual that doesn't know what trade lines is?
That means he doesn't have any credit cards. No credit cards, which gives him no history, which means they can't calculate to use that for his score, to calculate his score.
Correct. So when you're looking at the trade lines, or rather this screen, how did you come to that conclusion?
So it says no data, high impact. You
Where?
want to have open in the middle.
There's 6 categories. Which one are you looking at?
Sorry. So credit card use.
Okay, perfect. All right, excellent. What else?
He has no credit age because they calculate the history, the time that he has these accounts open.
Excellent. Yep. All right. Anyone else? Anyone else? What else stands out?
So he has high inquiries, and he has derogatory marks, 4 to be exact. He has and he only has 2 accounts, which means he doesn't have a whole lot of history on the accounts he has.
Correct. Absolutely. All right, excellent. Those are great answers. So now let me ask you all this question. Now that you're all consultants, okay, because that's exactly what we all are, we're all consultants with this platform. Knowing the services that we have and knowing different products that we offer, what would you offer this person? And what questions would you ask?
So we do have a secured credit card that we can offer them.
Excellent.
To give them at least one trade line. Suggest other secured credit cards so he could start establishing history and credit.
Correct. Excellent. What else would you offer?
Credit your rent.
Yes, I was just going to say that if he is not a homeowner, the credit rent history stuff.
Correct. Yes, that is correct. Now, what would be the benefits of the Credit My Rent towards this individual? Let's say he is not a homeowner. Why would you offer Credit My Rent?
Because you can put 2 years worth of history on there.
Excellent.
Right.
Absolutely. Excellent. All right. Anybody else? All right. Excellent. So everyone did great. That's exactly what I would be looking at as well. So when I first took a look at this, I said, okay, well, we definitely need to get you a secure credit card because there is no data under your credit age, much less your credit card use. So we need to already start you off with a secure credit card. considering that you do have 4 derogatory marks, we do need to enroll you in our credit restoration services because we need to go ahead and dispute not only those derogatory marks, we also need to dispute the inquiries. Now, trick question. Inquiries, should we dispute all inquiries, or do you dispute the inquiries that are not attached to open accounts?
The ones that are not attached?
Correct. Excellent. Absolutely. Because if you dispute an inquiry that's attached to an open account, that could potentially close the account that was open. All right. So you got to be very careful and very mindful that when you're looking at someone's credit profile in this case, right, that you do look at those inquiries, and we do dispute inquiries, ladies and gentlemen, with our platform. However, the customer needs to screenshot those inquiries, circle the ones that they want to dispute, and send it over to our corporate office. Okay?
And Zarina, just an FYI, because some people have many, many, many inquiries, they only do 13 at a time.
13 at a time. Thank you so much. That's great info. All right. Great info. All right. So we're going to move on to the next one, which is Equifax. Keep in mind that TransUnion and Equifax might have different things being reported, okay? Because as you saw, there is 2 different credit scores. That's absolutely normal. So here we now are looking at Equifax. They also have a collections there. Now we see the difference already from their Equifax to their TransUnion, okay? So it's going to be the exact same concept. We're going to offer them, you know, the secure credit card. We're also going to offer them the Credit My Rent, you know, assuming that they're not a homeowner. If you notice here, they have less derogatory marks, and they also have less inquiries, okay? Now, when you're looking at a healthy credit profile, I want to make sure that everyone fully understands what it looks like when you're looking at the Credit Karma. Now, payment history, you want this in green, and it should say 100%, meaning they are on-time payments with everything. Credit card use, you want this to say less than 30%. If you're taking notes, write this down next to your notes. Credit card usage should be 30% overall. So if somebody has 5 credit cards, you want to be able to divide the 30% amongst the 5 credit cards, right? Does that make sense? It shouldn't be 30% on each card. It needs to be 30% overall, the 5 credit cards, all right? So be very mindful of that. So I like to tell my customers, listen.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
No, he's frozen.
Keith, you're frozen up?
Yeah, I'm freezing up. Did anybody hear me?
No, but go ahead. We can hear you now.
Okay. Say I have 15 credit cards. So that 30% should be on the total of 15 credit cards, or
Correct.
each card should be 30%?
Incorrect. The first one.
Incorrect for the first one.
The first one is correct. Second is incorrect. You want to have 30% overall amongst the 15 credit cards.
Okay, that teaches me something. Thank you.
Absolutely. You're very welcome. Right? Mind you, I was under the impression that it was 30% for one card, and that was incorrect. Because if you notice and you look at your credit profile, they're going to take the average, right, of all your cards in a percentage of what you're using. So that's why it's 30% credit card utilization over all the credit cards that you have, okay? Now that we're on credit cards, because it is 30% of how your score is calculated, I want you guys to write this down as well on your notes, because these are great tips that you want to be able to give your potential customers or even current customers or even yourself, right? Free value, and that you know what you're talking about to guide them in the right direction. When you have credit cards, you have a due date, but you also have a closing statement date, okay? Let me give you a quick tip on the closing statement date, all right? The closing statement date is when your credit card company reports to the credit bureaus that it reports to. Keep in mind, not all credit cards report to all 3 credit bureaus. Different credit cards report to 1, maybe 2, some report to all 3, okay? So keep that in mind. However, the closing statement date has that credit card company report to the credit bureau what you've done in that billing cycle. And what I mean by what you've done, what you've used up in that time of using your credit cards. So let's say, for example, you have a credit card of $300, right? And you've used up $100. Well, as you know, 30%, if you just have the one credit card, 30% of 300 is what? Is $90, right? So if you're using $100, right, that you owe at this point from the credit card, you using a little over the 30%. So when the closing statement date comes and now it reports to the bureaus, they're letting them know that you have $100 balance, right? And out of the 300. So now they're reporting that you're using over that 30%. So $100, let's say about a good 32, 33%, right? Out of 100, that's going to drop your credit score. So what I encourage you and even potential customers when you're talking to them, have them know when the closing statement date is on each credit card. So on the closing statement date, I recommend 2 to 3 days before the closing statement date to pay down their balance to where it only reports 5%, 5 to 7%. And then 2 to 3 days before the due date, pay off the credit card. Now you are avoiding paying interest and you're having a great relationship with the credit card company, and it's going to put you in a great position to where the credit card company will now give you increased limits without you even asking for a limit. All right. So closing statement date, due dates, very, very important. There's also a credit card hack that you can pay 15 days before the due date, which typically is using the closing statement date, right? Pay half of what you owe. And then 3 days before the due date, pay the remainder. It'll trick the system that you've made 2 payments when really you just made 2 micro payments. All right. That's a 15-3 credit card hack. Okay. Does anyone have any questions there?
I just want to go over what you said really quick to see if I have it right. So I wrote closing statement date is when they report to all bureaus 2 to 3 days before pay balance to under 30%, 2 to 3 days before due date, pay off the card. Is that correct?
Correct. So before they report to the credit bureaus of which they're reporting to, you always want to make sure that your balance of what you owe on the credit card will be reporting that 5 to 7% threshold, even if you only had one credit card, because that will show, it'll show the bureaus and lenders that you are one responsible, and that's elite utilization, 5 to 7%. All right, moving forward, derogatory marks, you want to make sure that says 0. Okay, that's a healthy credit profile. Credit age, anything that's over 5 years is a great healthy credit profile. If someone has less than 5 years, let them know that you recommend them asking a close family member or close friend to add them as an AU, which is an authorized user. That'll give that individual a positive trade line. Let me explain to you what an AU is. So an authorized user, let's say, for example, I've had an American Express card for 15 years with a $25,000 credit limit. I've had 100% payment history. I've had my credit card utilization at 5% over the course of 15 years. I add Keith as an authorized user. Now, what that is going to help Keith when they when they look at his credit report, it will now show that Keith has had an American Express for 15 years, 100% payment history, and that he's kept his credit card usage at 5%. So basically, it'll mirror what I've done onto his credit report. Now, can he have access to my credit card? Well, if you ask someone as an authorized user, the primary, meaning the person that has the account, can either A, the credit card company can send Keith a credit card if I say okay, or I can tell American Express, no, you can send that credit card to my house. All right. Now, you only want to do that with people that you trust. Okay. And you want to make sure that that is something that you are confident enough that this person, if they are using the credit card, that you allow them to use, okay, that they're going to be responsible. All right. Other than that, I always recommend that for people that are close in family, husband, wife. You should do that, for each other, so on and so forth. All right. Those are authorized users, and that'll help someone with credit age and giving a person history. You should have a minimum of 5 total open accounts. Minimum. Anything over is best. 5 total accounts. For those that are taking notes, I want you to ask these questions to your customers, potential customers, and ask this question even to yourself. How is your credit profile? Do you have a healthy mixture? Do you have a healthy balance? What do you mean by that? Well, they're looking to see how many revolving accounts you have and how many installments you have. Let me give you examples. Revolving will be credit cards. Installments are if you're financing a car, if you have a mortgage, if you have a loan, right? Those are installments. So let's say, for example, you have 3 revolving, but you have no installments and you have a 730 credit score, you more than likely will get denied because you don't have a healthy mixture on your credit profile. So let's say, for example, someone tells you, Zarina or Keith or whoever, consultant you're speaking to, let's say someone is speaking to me, well, Zarina, I have a car that's paid off. My house is paid off. I inherited from my grandmother and I don't have any loans, but I do have 3 credit cards. What can I use to be able to cover that installment? Let me ask you this question now. What would you suggest to a person that doesn't have an installment? What would you suggest them to go out and go get? Go ahead.
I would suggest like a home equity loan.
A home equity loan? Okay, they can do that. Excellent. What else would you recommend?
A personal loan?
A personal loan through their bank? Absolutely. What else would you recommend? All right, so I'm going to put you guys up on game. In our industry and in our situation, we want people to have less. We want them to use their credit less in the sense that you don't want them to pull their credit. So the less they pull their credit, the better. Why? Because it's going to drop their score. Every time somebody pulls their credit, leveraging their social, that can add another inquiry to their credit profile. and could potentially drop their score anywhere from 2 to 7 points. I came across an amazing platform called Self Lender. Okay. Self Lender is an ingenious platform. And let me show you what Self Lender can actually do for someone. For those that have not heard of Self Lender, please take a screenshot of this or write this down. Self Lender. This is a way for an individual to build credit and build their savings at the same time. No credit, need to build credit, no problem. So how does this platform actually work, right? Well, you're going to apply for a credit builder account. Really, anyone is approved. $9 non-refundable enrollment fee, all right? And you can start by saving $25 a month, $35 a month. Those two plans monthly are for 2 years. Then you go up. There's a $48 one for 1 year, and there's one for $150 a month, and that's also for 1 year, right? So basically, this is how it works. Self Lender is a bank, right? You're taking out a loan, and they're going to put it onto a CD. Now, when this reports to the 3 credit bureaus, it's reporting that you have a loan through them, when really it's just you saving money to build up your credit. So that now is covering a loan, an installment loan on your credit profile that most people are lacking. There's no credit check. So this is a great way to have someone build their credit and save money at the same time, especially if they don't have no savings, because a lot of people have no rainy days saved, no money saved for a rainy day, right? Now, after the 1 year or 2 years that CD matures, Self will then send you a check in the mail of all the money that you saved over that course of time. And then boom, your commitment towards this monthly fee is now done. Now, check this out. After 3 consecutive payments with Self, they will now allow you, if you chose to take the money that you saved and put it onto a secured credit card. So now with one platform, now you have the opportunity to, 1, cover an installment loan and cover a revolving. So now you're killing 2 birds with 1 stone, leveraging one platform. Does that make sense?
Makes sense. I have a question.
Yes.
Is this a graduating credit card where it can be unsecured in the future?
No.
Okay, that's the only drawback then.
Yep, that's the only drawback. However, if you did decide to close it, which I never recommend, but let's say you do decide to close it, make sure that you pay everything back, right? And then they will cut the check of the amount of money that you put onto the secured credit card.
Is there a minimum that they need to open an account with them?
It is, well, if you chose to get the secured credit card, as you see here, keep building with the Self Visa credit card. A Self Credit Builder account can get you access to the Self Visa credit card in as little as 3 months, a minimum of $150. However, I always recommend to put more.
But you can build that 150 or 200 in 3 months.
Correct.
50, 50, 50. Yeah.
50, 50, 50. Yep. And then you can always pay more because, again, you're building your savings. Right? Does anyone have any questions?
That's a great concept.
Absolutely. So I like to be transparent with everyone. So I'm going to go ahead and log in. I have my own account with Self. Okay. So I'll go ahead and be very transparent with you all. As you see, hello, Zarina. We're going to go ahead and log into my account. So I wanted to try it out for myself as well. I started using this last year. I was at a 683. This helped increase my score 41 points. I did $48 a month for a year. I was able to save over $539. All right. I took $350 of my money that I saved, and I put that on a security deposit, and I was able to get that Self credit card. Now, This platform has an app. I love it. It also tells you if you're keeping your credit card utilization under the 30%, which, as you know, that's a key factor in building your credit. Not only that, you can also refer a friend and get $10, and it'll keep track of everyone that you've actually referred over to the platform, which is really cool. As you see, I've referred over 17 people. That's been accounted for so far. They send you $10 after they make their first payment, which is really, really nice. And then it'll tell you how your recent activity. So as you see here, I'm going to show you my activity. I've been building that since last year. And here's my payment history just to show you all. I paid $48 a month. Mind you, I just did it again for 1 year. Again, for $150, paid $5 to renew it up again. And now I'm doing $150, all right? Because again, I need another installment loan and I need to keep the installment loan until I get my home, all right? But here it'll tell you everything, your payments, documents, so on and so forth, which is really, really neat. So just to show you guys, it's an awesome platform. I do recommend it. And I'm one of those people to use things myself before I recommend it to anyone else. So if anyone's interested in getting the self, please reach out to me. And we can go from there. All right. So I'm gonna go ahead and sign out of that, going back to the Credit Karma. So that'll cover that'll cover your accounts. And last but not least is inquiries. You see how this is the only thing in green? Never have more than 2 inquiries, period. So basically, don't pull your credit unless you know for a fact you're about to make a huge purchase, whether it be a home, a car, or getting a big loan taken out. All right? Any questions here when you're looking at someone's credit profile and their Credit Karma account?
This may be off topic, but when we do a pull on their credit, is it hard or soft?
It says it's a hard pull. All right. Any other questions?
Can I say a little something regarding
Absolutely.
the hard pull? So if you've got someone that has had a recent credit pull within the 30 days, we don't have to do another hard pull. We can actually utilize that credit pull that they did do and forward it to corporate and save that client from having an additional pull on their account.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. So now when you see what changed on somebody's credit profile, you know, within that TransUnion or Equifax, now you're going to see, hey, so this inquiry was added, this inquiry was added, right? What else? It'll also tell you if things were deleted. It'll also tell you what changed here. Well, they had a few collection accounts removed, which helped them increase their score 101 points, okay? So it'll tell the person, you know, what's changed, so on and so forth, all right? All right, so that is an overview of an account, just to show everyone what to look for and how to go straight to directing an individual. So go back to summing everything up. When they log into the Credit Karma, you want to ask them, what do you use? You use Credit Karma, blah, blah, blah. Okay, great. Send me a screenshot, right, of, you know, of your file. And they're going to send you this. Make sure they click on the score and you want them to send you this. Right here, you'll be able to know if they have a 90% of the payment history. That should tell you they have late payments. We need to dispute the late payments. If the credit card use is over 30%, now you can consult with John Doe and tell, hey, John Doe, your credit card utilization is over the 30% threshold. I encourage you to start paying your credit cards down. You're going to see a huge jump on your credit score as you start paying down your credit cards. John Doe, I also see that you have X amount of derogatory marks, that does show me that you have some negative items on there. So you do qualify for my credit repair services. Not everyone qualifies, you guys, okay? Credit age, if it says no data, right? Then at that point, you want to be able to offer them some trade lines that we do have, okay? Which is the credit my rent. You may also want to offer them a secured credit card. And then again, ask them, let me see if you have a great mixture on your profile. How many credit cards do you have, right? And what type of loans do you have? Do you have a mortgage? Are you financing a car? Do you have a loan taken out? At that point, if they don't, offer them the self, right? And if they don't want to do the self, it's okay. Then I recommend you going to your bank, getting a loan taken out. Don't spend that money on frivolous things. Use that same money of the loan to pay the loan right back, okay? Total accounts should be a minimum of 5 with a mixture of installments revolving. And then a person should have no more than 2 inquiries. If they do, they also need our services. And we want to make sure that we dispute the inquiries that are not attached to open accounts. So that is how you do a credit analysis, leveraging the Credit Karma platform. Does anybody have any questions? Any questions at all?
I do. This is Renee. And my question is, when would you suggest this to be done with the client? At what point in the conversation? When in the process would we suggest this analysis to the client?
That's a great question. So let's say, for example, you put a post up or someone posted for you on Facebook or any other social media platforms, and you had individuals commenting info. At that point, you're going to go ahead and message them. Hey, John Doe, thanks for inquiring about credit repair. My name is Renee. I will be, the consultant. What do you have on your credit that you're looking to get done? Are you trying to buy a house, a car, get some negative items deleted to raise your score? They're now going to tell you, okay, great. Do you use a Credit Karma, Experian, blah, 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 to be able to know exactly what you have, right? Let's say they don't know what they have, or if they do know, hey, you just want to get that confirmation. If they say, yes, I have a Credit Karma, great. Take a screenshot and let me see. Because a lot of times they might think I have a medical bill, I have this, and they actually don't, or it has yet to report. So you want them to take a screenshot and send it to you. And at that point, you're going to give them a more accurate analysis in consultation, when it comes to them inquiring about credit repair.
Okay, we're not asking for a screenshot necessarily the scores itself, but of those boxes that we were covering as far as how many accounts open and that type of thing, correct?
Correct. Now you can ask them what their score is. A lot of times they're going to tell you their credit score because you're going to ask them, what is your credit score? And what are the negative items affecting your score?
Okay, that answers my question. Thank you.
Yep, you're very, very welcome. Any other questions?
Very informative, Zarina. Thank you.
Yes, you're very, very welcome. Any other questions?
I see that you recorded this. Would that be accessible? Because I just got off the road and I missed the majority of it.
Yes,
All right, excellent. Thank you.
you're very welcome. Any other questions?
I've noticed on a lot of the Facebook pages of people in the business, they put the term financial consultant.
Yes. Yes.
Could you define that a little bit better for me? Why that's a good description of what we do? And is there any trade laws that might be, because we're registered agents with FES. However, when we state a title, it also is the public might assume that you have a certain level of education or training in those matters. So I just don't want to get into a legal, well, they told me they were a financial consultant, and, you know, make sure I'm not breaking any laws, so to speak.
Nope, absolutely. Completely understand and respect those, you know, that concern in that question. So we are in the finance industry. However, we are referral agents, but we're also are consulting with people based on their finances, right? So summing that up in a more professional term, we just say financial consultants.
Okay, I understand. Thank you. That was a great answer. Thank you.
Yep, absolutely. Now, a person could say, hey, I'm just a referral agent. That's totally fine as well. Or I am an agent with this company. You could say that as well. However, since we are all independent sales representatives, right? Mind you, I don't like to say sales representatives. I just like to say we're all independent contractors, because that's exactly what we are. We are business owners. So if you would like to, you know, register your company name under your state, I always recommend everyone to do that, because we are operating under the 1099 tax laws. So for example, we have, you know, Cash Financials, we have ZG Financial Solutions, we have, you know, Peace Writings. I mean, there's different individuals that started their own business to be able to have now their company partner with FES, partner with UCES. So that's something I do recommend as well.
When you say register the name, or you mean like an LLC?
Yes.
Or that, okay, so when you're saying register the name with the state as
Yes.
an LLC.
Correct. Register your business name under an LLC, S Corp, incorporation, whatever you choose. Correct. Under the
Okay.
state.
Okay, I'm on that track. Thank you.
Yes, you're very, very welcome. So let me give you an example. So when you do decide to do that, you can then upload to the company FES, and that you are changing the name from personal information to business. And then when you pull up your FES website or even UCES website, as you see, you don't see my name, but you see my company's name, ZG Financial Solutions. Initially, I was under my personal information. And then as I started to grow in the company and fully understood, oh man, I need to get my own business, because this is a business. So I'm going to have a lot more business tax write-offs, right? So I wanted to do that under my business and really get myself fully, you know, going under an actual business in my own entity. All right. So I'm going to give you guys one quick last tip that I always recommend to a lot of my customers as well, is if you go to www.experian.com, keep in mind Credit Karma only gives you TransUnion and Equifax. So I want my customers to know what their Experian credit score is. Educate them, letting them know there's 3 scores. You have TransUnion, you have Equifax, but you also have an Experian, right? So creating an Experian.com account is absolutely free. Now they're having their Experian score, and that's being scored, like I spoke about earlier on the Zoom, is your score is being scored using the FICO scoring system, right? Which is what most lenders are using and looking at, right? So go ahead and create an Experian.com absolutely for free. And you can also do an Experian Boost, where utility bills are being reported to your Experian, which will help. As you see right here, that's only the start. Boost your FICO score instantly too. Americans everywhere are seeing instant boost when they add their bills, now including Netflix. So if they got a light bill, water bill, phone bill, they can actually use that. And as long as they have paid 3 consecutive payments, and they can look, they can detect that through their bank account. They do have to link their bank account, right? Everything is secure. At that point, they'll be able to see an instant increase on their Experian credit score. Granted, they don't have to do that, but this is something that they can do that. I did that myself, and I had an instant 14-point increase. I had a young lady do that the other day as well. And let me be very accurate with my information. I had her do it. And let me show you here. She had a 37-point increase.
Wow. Wow.
That is awesome.
And that was instantly, and pardon my French, but she said, bleep, my score went up 37 points.
Wow.
That's incredible.
So I encourage you guys to do it. I trained this one night when I learned about this. Jessie, she did this as well. And what was your instant increase?
36.
36 points. Yes, I believe Lonzel did it as well, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, mine went up 14.
14 points. So for those that have not done it, I encourage it. You don't have to if you don't want to. A lot of people are a little finicky about, linking their bank accounts. So was I, but it definitely works. Mind you, we also have identity protection. So you want to make sure that your clients are activating the first 3 services: credit restoration, our identity monitoring, and the credit monitoring as well. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and stop sharing my screen. Thank you so much. I hope you've learned how to be able to now look at someone's Credit Karma and give them an accurate analysis based off of their credit profile. So I'm gonna go ahead and stop recording. Have a great day.